Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. And today in my series on DIY, we're back to flooring. Now if you've seen in my previous video, I've mentioned about where to get your laminate flooring from and the tools we need. So in this video, we're going to get straight on to the flooring. First thing when laminate flooring turns up, you need to put it aside in the room you're going to be using it in, because you'll want to get that flooring to room temperature, which is between 18 and 23 Celsius. So like for me, I've stored mine over here. That's been there for a few weeks now. What I will say is, when you've stored it up, just make sure the humidity of your room isn't too high, because that can also affect your laminate flooring. Also, hopefully, when you've ordered your laminate flooring, you did get your underlay to go with it. Now for laminate flooring, the underlay you need is between 3 and 5 millimeters thick. And this is the board I got, which is just ideal for the job. And I've also chosen the 12 millimeter thick laminate flooring. Now also, you have to decide whether you're going to be taking your skirting boards off or just going with beading. Now I'll show you what beading is. This is the beading. It's the stuff that looks cheap and tacky. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. Or alternatively, you can just take off your skirting boards like this. Well, I'm lucky enough, I didn't have any in the first place. So whether you're using skirting board or you're using beading, you need to have something against that wall before you can actually put down your spacers. Now the spacers you'll require for this job is between 10 and 12 mil. Now I'm using a professional spacer. These are aluminium. You can also buy your spacers from your DIY shop, or if you've actually got some laminate flooring, which is around 10 mil, you can use that as well. Just cut off pieces and use it. So the question is, where do we start? Now my room is not a straightforward room. I'll just show you a bit of it. I think you've seen this before. It's not square. Now you will find in most directions, which comes with the flooring, it refers to something that is a square room. I don't know anybody has a square room. So realistically, this ain't worth the paper it's written on. It does give you directions on the back how to fit your flooring, but sometimes, I'm sorry to say, these things are all to pot. This is how to fit your flooring. Believe me, they show examples of square rooms. We live in the real world. These are DIY shops. They're selling stuff for you guys to use. Now, for me, we're going to get straight down to the nitty gritty. We haven't got a square room. Straight over here, I've got a horrible corner, which is going to be a bit of a bitch. Then I've got this doorway. And again, across here, I've also got another bit that sticks out. And then we've also got, straight away, a radiator. So what I would suggest is, find in the middle of the room, which like I've done there. I've put a marker down, hopefully you can see that. And that's where the middle of the room is. Now it's important when you come over to your radiator, you actually want this to be against the wall. So when you come to cut, these are over here. So you do need to work out how many planks you need to go across that floor. You can do it by laying plank by plank across the floor. So you finish over there. This is your skirting board. First you put your spacers in. Then you want to put your tongue, which is this piece, against the spacer. Like that. So then you've got your edge so you can actually go in. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm putting this down like this. And then I'm putting my skirting top. And that's quite tacky, isn't it? I think you agree. But I'm afraid if you've already got your skirtings down in our old ones, then don't try and take them up, just use this stuff. So the first job we want to do is get our knee pads on. As you can see, I've not used these ones before. I use just normally a piece of old carpet. At the end of the video, I'll let you know what I think of these. So first and foremost, the important part is to make sure your floor is absolutely clean before you even go anywhere near it. So I've actually swept this off and vacuumed it. I've even ran a sander over as well. And the first thing we do is put down our underlay. Now we lie them across the floor and then we come back this way. And then we tape the joints up with aluminium tape. And in the words of Blue Peter, this is what I did earlier. And that's all my wood ready. Now I've actually pre-cut this one, funny enough. Now the reason why I do this is because at least you've got some idea of how the floor is going to go. Now realistically, this piece is a little bit too short, but I am going to use it. Now because of the way my window is over here, I've actually got short parts. And as I said previously, my room isn't square. So there is going to be problems all the way around. And this is the same thing as you may find at home. So right, we'll get down to laying the floor now. Once I've done this part, now when we move on to the next part, I'll show you me cutting it up because there is a way of cutting the laminate flooring. But I thought we'll get the flooring down just to show it going down. And then at least you've got some idea of how you're going to do yours. Now cutting is another issue altogether because there's 3 ways of cutting it. And we'll get onto that in the next part. There is a few bits on this, so I'm going to get that off because it shouldn't be actually on there. For some reason, I picked up some rubbish from somewhere. So first drop in your spacers. And we can start. So I'm going to put our first row in first. So it's very easy to put this together. Put it in like that and just drop it down. Now if that is a bit out, you can just tap it across, but it should just move across on its own. This stuff's quite forgiving actually. And then you do the same up that end as well. So once again, just put it in like this and just drop it in. And just make sure she's level. And then my pre-cut one should just fit in. There you go. And if you get an area like this, where he's slightly out, just tap him across. And just make sure he's right across the wall. Row 2 is exactly the same. Give him a good bang. And this one. And once again this one. Away. So having them pre-cut, it does make it a little bit easier. As you can see, as you move the first one, the other layer comes apart. There you go. Get that nice in. Click in that one. Another way of doing it is just doing this. Not a nice joint there. Leave that space for a minute. So you can also see that that's shifted there a bit. You can see the gaps. Foot. And once again, put this one back in. Spacer. So it's the same when you get this, when you get these few down to start with, you're on the money. So this one is just plain city buggers. Let's put them out a little bit. Get a tap. Get it around the right way, helps. Little tap. And Bob's your uncle. And then that one's come out. So getting right against that. There he is. What I try not to do is bash this edge too much, because if you bash him up, we'll see if we can get that one better than that. You don't see this in YouTube videos. This is how it is. This is real life. Hold. This is for the feet method works. Yeah, it looks all right now. That's better. See, there's that little groove. Got to get a shot of that groove. Okay, this is the one we cut off. Put that one in. Now I can hear people screaming at me now. That spacer. Let's take it out of there for now. I can hear these professionals saying that's not the way to do it. What the difference is, they don't show you what goes on. Because you think it's all nice and easy when it goes in, but it's not. Not everything's plain sailing. Yeah, that goes in nice. And with a little bit of luck, this goes straight in this one. Well, there's your first 3 rows. Now we'll just inspect them. If they're not quite right, all we need to do is use your feet. You may have seen carpet fitters doing this before now. So this stuff is really forgiving. So there you go. Now look, see that's come out. So you can go back in easy. There you go. Same here, just tap it with your feet. And that's my first rows done. So now I'll go and have a brew and come back and we'll do the other 3. This is the Crazy Baker Unleashed channel. Cars. Honest reviews. DIY, toys, and behind the scenes of all the crap I buy, old school memorabilia. Please subscribe and please share. Laters!